Okay, let's talk about something that's on a lot of our minds, keeping our aging loved ones safe at home. But here's the twist. We're not going to focus on all the anxiety and the rules. Instead, we're going to completely reframe the conversation and look at how smart, thoughtful design can turn a home into an incredible tool for independence.
You know, it all really boils down to this one question, doesn't it? A question that so many of us ask ourselves, and it's a heavy one. Is home still the safest place for them? Now, that question comes from a place of love, of course. But the usual answers, more rules, more restrictions, they can sometimes feel like they're taking away the very freedom we're trying so hard to protect.
And that brings us to the big idea for today. What if the problem isn't the person? What if it's the environment they're in? The source material we're looking at here suggests this huge shift in how we think. It says let's stop seeing safety as a big list of don'ts and start seeing it for what it is, a design challenge. So this leads us to a new concept, the behaviorally safe home. The magic word here is automatic. This isn't about nagging or constantly watching over someone. It's about designing a space where the safest choice is also the easiest, most obvious one. You do this using simple things, better lighting, a splash of color, clear visual cues that guide behavior without anyone even thinking about it.
Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we turn a regular house into this supportive world? Well, there's a really powerful, simple toolkit for this, and it's built on a 3-pillar framework.
And here they are. You can think of them as the setup, the action, and the reward. Or, if you want to get technical, antecedent design, behavior structuring, and consequence reinforcement. It's basically the ABC of creating a home that fosters independence. Let's dig into each one. First up, Pillar 1, Antecedent Design. This is all about being proactive. It's the setup. The goal here is to design the environment so it practically screams, this is the way to do it safely, while quietly getting rid of any confusing or dangerous signals. It's like putting a spotlight on the right path. All right, next up is behavior structuring. This is the action part of the equation. So once you've set the stage for success, the next step is to make the safe action itself incredibly simple, like dead simple. The idea is to reduce the cognitive load, to take the guesswork out of it.
And here's a really practical way to do that. A great rule of thumb is to take any high-risk task, and we're talking about things like taking medications, using the stove, even just getting in and out of the bath, and break it down into a super simple visual sequence of just 3 or 4 steps. That simplicity is everything. It's what builds those confident, safe routines.
And that brings us to our third and final pillar, consequence reinforcement. Honestly, this is the heart and soul of the whole system. When a safe action is completed, it's so important that it's followed by an immediate positive reward. And I don't just mean saying good job. The reward is the feeling of success, of capability. It's what builds that inner confidence and makes the new habits stick. Okay, so we've got our 3 pillars, the setup, the action, and the reward. Now, let's see how these pieces all fit together in the real world to make safety feel, well, totally natural and basically invisible. This is such a great way to see the difference. On one hand, you've got traditional safety. It's all about looking for hazards, making rules, saying, don't do this, don't do that. And it can feel really restrictive. But with behavioral design, the focus shifts entirely. It's about building habits. It uses cues and routines to actively build confidence. It's a total shift from no to here's how. And when you make that mental shift, you have this incredible realization. You know all those safety tools, like a grab bar or maybe a stove lock? We tend to see them as signs of limitation. But when you look at them through this new lens, they become the exact opposite. They become enablers of independence. Let's take that stove lock example. The antecedent, the setup, is that the lock itself is super simple and easy to figure out. The behavior is that your loved one uses it correctly. And the consequence, the reward, it's not just, pew, the house didn't burn down. The real immediate reward is the freedom to keep baking that favorite recipe. The lock actually enables the joy. So what's the ultimate payoff for all this work? What are we really trying to achieve? It's about so much more than just preventing falls. It's about creating a powerful, positive cycle in someone's mind. And this is it, right here. On the left, that's the vicious cycle we want to break, the loop of fear. It starts with a little hesitation. That leads to anxiety, which makes someone avoid doing things they love. But on the right, that's what we're building, the loop of confidence. A clear cue leads to a safe action, which creates a good feeling, which reinforces the behavior until it becomes a confident, automatic routine. So how do you know you've actually done it? When have you crossed the finish line? You've gotten there when safety just feels normal, when it's so integrated into daily life that it's invisible. When your loved one is going about their day confidently without needing reminders, that's when you know the home itself has become the safety system.
So, this is where you come in. Because the big takeaway here is that this isn't just about buying a few gadgets. Your role actually changes. You get to become something pretty cool, an environmental architect. I just love this quote because it captures the idea so perfectly. You're not just fixing a leaky faucet or installing a handrail. You are designing an entire world of support, a space that is literally custom-built for dignity, for confidence, and for true independence.
So what's the #1 tool in your new architect's toolkit? It's not a power drill, it's not your checkbook, it's your eyes. It's your ability to just watch, to pay attention. Your observation is your greatest tool. Noticing the little routines, the points of struggle, that's where the best ideas are born.
So here's your first assignment, your first task as a designer. #1, observe a behavior and ask, what's the function here? What's the unmet need driving this? #2, design a safe substitute. How can a different, safer path meet that very same need? And 3, reinforce that new path. Don't just scold the old habit, celebrate the new one.
And that really brings us to the final thought. This whole way of thinking just asks us to imagine a new reality. What if the home itself could be transformed? What if through compassionate and clever design, it could stop being a place of fear and hazards, and instead become a place of genuine freedom? That, right there, is the true power of making safety invisible.